Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic in pharmaceutical chemistry, which is anticholinergic drugs or parasympatholytics. We are going to dive into the world of anticholinergic drugs, exploring their classification, effects, uses, mechanism of action, structure activity relationship, and potential side effects. At first, anticholinergic drugs or parasympatholytic agents are drugs that block the action of acetylcholine neurotransmitter, which is the main neurotransmitter of central and peripheral nervous systems. These agents are not new, especially the prototype atropine that had historical use when women used atropa belladonna to beautify their eyes and dilate their pupils. Anticholinergic drugs can be divided into two categories according to their specific targets and receptors in central and peripheral nervous systems, and at neuromuscular junction to antimuscarinic agents and antinicotinic agents. Also, they can be classified according to their source to natural alkaloids such as atropine, scopolamine, semi-synthetic derivatives such as hyoscine butyl bromide, which is the famous antispasmodic agent, and synthetic compounds such as piperidine, oxybutynine, pyranozapine, and ipratropium. And to enter the most interesting part, which is the mechanism of action. Parasympathetic agents mainly working by competitively antagonizing acetylcholine at central and peripheral muscarinic receptors, which is the main target of anticholinergic drugs. By blocking these receptors, anticholinergic drugs prevent acetylcholine from binding and activating them, resulting in variety of effects depending on the location and functions of the receptors, such as relaxation of smooth muscles, bronchodilation, improving bladder control, and reducing tremors and rigidity associated with Parkinson's disease, and many other effects. Pharmaceutical chemistry is mainly concerned with modifications of drugs, and we cannot do this without structure activity relationship. For optimum activity on R1, we can substitute it with hydrogen atom, hydroxyl group, hydroxymethyl group, or carboxamide group. And for R2 and R3, they should be carbocyclic or heterocyclic ring for maximum antagonistic activity. By talking about ester group, it may be present or replaced with ether group, and it may also be absent. And for connecting bridge, its optimum chain length is 2 to 4 carbons. However, compounds containing 2 carbon chain offers maximum anticholinergic activity. The amino group can be substituted by either methyl ethyl isopropyl groups for maximum activity. Anticholinergics can help in treating various health conditions, such as respiratory disorders as asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, GIT disorders such as vomiting, tremors of Parkinson's disease, symptoms of overactive bladder and muscle spasm, and many other uses. We also have to mention side effects of parasympatholytics, which are dry mouth or xerostomia by reducing the amount of saliva produced, constipation by slowing down bowel movement, sweating less, blurred vision or glaucoma, urinary retention, dementia, confusion, heart problems or arrhythmias. If many side effects occur together, it can be called anticholinergic toxicity, which is rarely life threatening but may require care in the hospital. And we cannot leave this wonderful class without having some examples. And number one is ipratropium bromide, which can be used in treatment of asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease as bronchodilator. Also, it has no CNS side effects due to its high polarity. The next one is hyoscine butyl bromide, and as we said before, it's used as antispasmodic agent by inhibiting smooth muscle contractions of GIT and commonly prescribed for irritable bowel syndrome, renal and biliary colic, and menstrual cramps. The third example is talanzapine. It's concerned also with GIT, but mainly in peptic ulcers, by selectively antagonizing muscarinic M1 receptors, so it reduces gastric acid secretions, which can help in the healing of ulcers. Also, it has been investigated for its potential cognitive enhancing effects. The last example here is the piperidine, which is also a selective antagonist of M1 receptor. It's commonly used in the treatment of Parkinson's disease. By blocking these receptors, it helps to restore the balance between dopamine and acetylcholine in the brain. And for nicotinic agents, we have a very famous example, which is tubocorin. It's historically known as the first clinically used neuromuscular blocking agent. It's used to secure muscle relaxation in surgical procedures without deep anesthesia. However, its use has declined in recent years due to the development of newer and more selective neuromuscular blockers with improved safety profiles. Last but not least, an example of promising new anticholinergic drug, which is physotyrolene, that is approved for the treatment of overactive bladder symptoms as M3 receptor antagonist, reducing the involuntary contractions of bladder muscles and improving urinary symptoms associated with overactive bladder. It's also similar to dariphenacine and solifenacine in terms of its efficacy and side effects. And don't forget when using anticholinergic drugs to follow your healthcare provider's instructions carefully. Be sure to inform your doctor of any other medications you are taking to avoid potential interactions. Additionally, stay hydrated and be mindful of any side effects you may experience while taking these medications. This video was made under supervision of Pharmaceutical Chemistry Department, College of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Drug Manufacturing, Misr University for Science and Technology, Egypt, and under supervision of Associate Professor Nehad Eldydamony, Associate Professor Heba Rateb.